So what I would like to do is connect with you all and be the contribution that we can be to Turkey, all the people in Turkey and Syria. Turkey and Syria. It's interesting because one of the elements of what this is showing us is that the world is connected. And what happens in one part of the world affects all of us around the world. This truly is our planet. This truly is our home. And I love the conspiracy theories that are already starting in the thread. That's awesome. Thank you. What can we be that creates a different possibility for our world? See, this planet is our home. This planet is incredibly beautiful. And what possibilities can we be that will contribute something different to everyone? We're going to be using something called the clearing statement. If you don't know what that is, you can go to theclearingstatement.com and find that out, but I'm going to be using it. I'm not going to bother explaining it because I don't want to take 20 minutes of your valuable time. But first, I'd like to thank you all very much for being with me here today. And let's see what else is possible. So it's interesting because, that so many people contact me about the earthquakes. And I've had some people contacting me saying, how have you forgotten about Turkey? I'm like, I haven't forgotten. I'm like, there were earthquakes. What do you want me to do? Like, hi, there were earthquakes. This is my fault. For what reason? Because people have an awareness that there should be something else possible. And in so many ways, there are people who are waking up and recognizing that we need to do things differently. See, the earth will communicate with us if we ask. But how often do we ask? We take it for granted that we will have this spinning blue marble being our home forever. But let's look from a different perspective. If we don't change our perspective, we're doing a lot of things that are not actually kind, that are not actually contributory, that are not actually sustainable. But what can we be that would create a sustainable living earth for the next 10,000 years or more? Everything that doesn't lie to perceive, know, be, and receive, that you are vital to that possibility, that it's not on somebody else, it's on you, okay? It's on you, meaning us. It's on us. Everything that doesn't lie to perceive, know, be, and receive that, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. And what can we be? What can we do? What can we choose to create a sustainable living earth for the next 10,000 years or more? Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. One of the things that we do in Access Consciousness is we're continuously exploring, we're continuously looking, we're continuously going on the journey of what else can we find that will allow people to recognize the gift of themselves, the gift of them being here on this planet. And one of the things that we have found recently, wow, Katerina, you learned to speak Russian and Italian. That's great. Sorry, if you're seeing the thread, I'm just very impressed. One of the things we've come up with recently is there are these things called presumptive realities. And what that is where you presume the nature of reality and then you act from that presumption. But most often that presumption of what is is a lesser version, something that's not as great as what you were capable of. So how many presumptive realities do you have creating the stress around all of this? Everything that is times a godzillion way to destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So we found presumptive realities. We've been working with that for the last month or so, and it has been a game changer. In other words, anytime you go into the stress about what's going on, ask for all the presumptive realities creating that, because what you're doing is you're presuming that it has to be stressful. You're presuming that this is wrong. You're presuming that the trauma and drama is correct. So all the presumptive realities creating you aligning and agreeing with the trauma and the drama, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Well, recently, as in a couple days ago, we found another thing, which is the need for reactive realities. And if you think about that for just a moment, reactive reality is where you are reacting, you're not present. Reactive reality is where, when I was a little kid, my mommy and daddy wanted me to react, and so I did, and it seemed to create something, so I'm going to continue doing it. So all the need for reactive realities that you're functioning from that create you continuously resisting and reacting to what's going on, whether that's the government, whether that's the reports of people dying, whether that's the that weird sense that you get of something is wrong, but I don't know what to do. Will you destroy and uncreate all that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. I'm so angry at the politicians, I can't stop cursing. Well, that must be fun to be around you right now. I'm aware of the distractor implants. I'm also in question, but it doesn't stop me cursing and being angry. What else is possible for our people? To all be aware of the unconsciousness. Okay, what that is exactly what I was talking about. It's the need for reactive realities. And you got to realize we all have a choice. Okay, so the earthquakes occurred. And for a lot of people, it was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up saying, hey, the way you've been doing things and the standard operating procedure isn't going to work in this situation. But if you ask this question, what will work that I've never acknowledged? You start to function from a different way of being in the world. And so one of the big things is these reactive realities. So how many needs of reactive realities are you using to create the stress around all of this that keeps you from being a contribution to possibilities are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So one more time, how many needs of reactive realities are you using to create the necessity of responding with stress, anger, and trauma and drama you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. See, if you look at us living on the earth, are we living like creatures that are in communion with our mother, with our host? Or are we living from a different place and space? We have the choice to function from the creatures and function from and as creatures that are in communion with the earth, or we can go to some other direction where it almost seems like we're at odds with the earth or going in a different way. And what I wonder is, what would it take for us to be willing to recognize that we are crucial to the possibilities of what can occur on planet Earth. What can you be, no matter where you live in the world, that will start to open up the space for people to be in communion with the planet? Everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. See, and it's interesting because there's a few comments about I want to kill the politicians, and I get it. But rather than blame them, rather than say, hey, they're doing this because we've allowed them to do it for hundreds, if not thousands of years. What can we be that changes that? Because you have a choice. You can either be functioning from a sense of your power and the awareness that we together can create anything, or you can function from the resistance and reaction, which is the need of reactive realities to believe that you're getting somewhere. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. And the funny part is, you know, people do this thing of, I'm so angry at the politicians, but it's like, well, who elected them? Who gave them the power to make choices for us? We did. So some of the time when you get angry, in fact, one of the biggest things that can start to change that is, what is the lie, spoken or unspoken? And how much of the lie is that you don't have the power to change anything? Everything that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So, Tugba, darling. This is not Tugba's first rodeo. She has gone through many things. She happens to be Turkish. And in the first few go-rounds of major reasons for trauma and drama, she chose the trauma and the drama, because that's a good choice if you're Turkish, don't you know? Now, what's funny is I've said in classes, you know, people have been like, you know, so many different things. And I've jokingly said, yes, well, Turkish people love drama. And some Turkish people resist that. And it's always funny to me because they always do it with drama. And so you want to recognize, you know, and for me, it's like I come from the United States, right? And there are aspects of what the United States is that are a gift. And there are many aspects that are not. There are many aspects that are limitation, but I don't look at it and try to fight against what I realize are my country's limitations. I acknowledge them and realize, wow, that's not true for me. So how much have you been defending the point of view of your country? How much have you been defending the point of view of the people who love the drama, and in so doing, losing you? Everything that is with the need of reactive realities, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So somebody said, this is also what's going on in my personal life. If I change this, I see it also as a contribution to Earth. I totally agree. See, we are the Earth, my friends. We are. Our choices create our future. The choices we've made up until now, and the choices we've allowed others to make, and the most destructive one is the places where we've given over our power to others, saying, hey, I don't want to be responsible here. You choose for me. They're what has created the world we have right now. What choices can we make for something different? So I'd like to, Tugba has had many experiences of drama and changing things. Can you please just talk a little bit about that? Because I think it might be helpful for people. Because I'm sitting here saying, they're like, oh yeah, well, you can say it because you're, I don't know what you think I am, but whatever you think I am that makes it so you can't choose it. So Tuba's a real person. And let's hear from a real person. Oh my God, a Turkish person, actually.
Hi, Dain. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I was such a drama queen growing up. I mean, you are so lucky that you didn't know me 15 years ago or 10 years ago. And my main point of view was I should be useful. People should need me, you know. So I could prove that I am necessary and I deserve to breathe and live. And I wanted everyone to be conscious. I wanted to be conscious. Then we would get together and hold hands and we would sing Kumbaya and live together with love.
Yay.
And, you know?
I love that idea. I want to do the Kumbaya thing. Let me know when. Okay.
Yeah, so I was trying to save everyone and the earth. And we had earthquakes in Bodrum. I think it was 2017. And I was shaking like crazy. And I asked the question during COP to Gary. I said, I can't stop shaking, you know? He asked me if I am aware of the earth. And I was like, oh, yes. And he said, okay, just contribute to earth, whatever it needs. I was like, yes, I'm choosing, but it's not happening. I can't do it. Oh. And then he said, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to save people? I was like, oh, yes, I do. I don't want anyone to die. You know, I can't bear that. It would kill me. It would be so painful, blah, 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 blah. And then he said,
okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry. How many of you have a capacity to contribute to Earth that you're not using? Because you think, well, I'm just a person. The Earth is really big and I can't contribute. Okay, you are an infinite being, my beautiful friends. Whether you want to know it or not is another story, of course. But you're an infinite being. What contribution can we all be to the earth right now that would allow it to thrive? Everything that doesn't allow that, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Once again, go to theclearingstatement.com if you don't know all the weird shit I'm saying. Now, ask right now, Earth, what contribution can I be for you? Please. Just do it. I know it's weird. Just do it anyway. Weird is where the fun stuff is. Like, stop resisting being weird. Okay. Earth, what contribution can I be for you? I don't know about you, but when I ask that question, there's an influx of energy into my body. And it's kind of like the earth is going, hi, receive this. And I'm like, whoa, that's friggin' awesome. What contribution can I be to actually receive? What an amazing gift to actually receive from the earth. Now, the funny part is it's a gift for you, but even more so, it's a gift for the earth. Are you aware there are roughly 8 billion people walking on Earth's surface that don't receive from this miraculous being? And you're like, being? What do you mean? The earth has a consciousness, my friends. I mean, even Einstein said everything has consciousness. Every molecule has consciousness. So the earth has consciousness. So can you imagine what it's like? Just desiring to contribute continuously and never being received. I mean, think about somebody you want to contribute to. That's like, oh, imagine what it's like having 8 billion people fucking ignore you. Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. So we ask right now, Earth, what contribution can I be for you? Notice what is there energetically. And then some of you may be like, oh my goodness, I can contribute blah, 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 whatever it is. Well, then maybe you want to contribute blah, blah, blah. Okay. Just walk outside and go blah, 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 blah. Because one of the ways the earth starts to thrive is by our communion with it, by our acknowledgement of it, by our connection with it. And when there's a thing called an earthquake, there's something going on, okay? Oftentimes the earth is like, excuse me, knock on your head, wake the fuck up, okay? So everything that is, and everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive the contribution you can be, and actually choose to be it, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, bovads, and beyonds. I know a lot of people are always looking for what they can give to the earth, not what you can receive. But notice my question was, what contribution can I be? And the interesting part is in Access, we talk about there being a simultaneity of gifting and receiving. And if you think about that for a moment, have you ever given somebody a gift? Like you thought about it, you planned it, you were like, oh my goodness, it's going to be the best thing in the whole wide world, because you really put some energy into giving them something wonderful. And there are two responses that usually occur. One is, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Thank you so much. And when that's received, how much do you light up? How much do you get contributed to in that receiving? Or there's the other response, oh, thanks. Where you're like, dude, you have no idea. I took a year planning this. I spent all kinds of money. Right? But when it doesn't seem like the gift you are is being received, how much of an invalidation of your being is that? And if Earth is here gifting all the time, and we're more interested in our social media likes and totally ignoring it, what kind of invalidation is that for the being that is our planet, for the consciousness that is our planet? Everything that is, times a gazillion way, destroy and uncreate it all, place. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, bovads, and beyonds. Okay, sorry to interrupt, my darling.
No, it was awesome, because at that class, I was like, oh, okay, I can contribute. I can contribute to the earth. But it took a while for me to be able to allow myself to receive from the earth. I was like, no, it will be me who will contribute all the time. I will give. You know, it took a while to learn the simultaneity of gifting and receiving. And it makes such a difference. And I would have so many problems with my body. I would have so many pains and sickness. I was sick all the time. And I was like, oh, how can I change this? How can I solve this problem? How can I get rid of my body, you know? But when I really perceived and acknowledged that it's my awareness, my body's awareness, that I can contribute and I can receive contribution. And I am part of earth and everything and everyone. It's oneness. Whew, you know, it changed everything. And I learned to honor people's choices. That's really changed a lot for me. I'm not anyone's God, you know. I can't judge people if they are choosing something. I was like, oh, okay.
You said I can't judge people, right?
No.
Oh, good. I thought you said I can. I just want to make sure. Okay.
No. I can't. I mean,
you just choose not to. Okay,
yeah.
so you had back in the earthquake in 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
You had a totally different experience.
Oh yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. I was miserable.
Okay. So this time with the earthquake, tell me the difference. Like what I'm trying to do is give people a sense of what was from your case, because having been somebody who aligned and agreed with the trauma and the drama, and then choosing to recognize your body was hurting because you were trying to contribute, and choosing to recognize that you were suffering because of the trauma and drama. What awareness did you get to, or what awarenesses did you get to, and how did you go from there to where you are now, where there's actually a sense of ease?
Yeah, actually, I wasn't willing to acknowledge that I am a contribution or an energetic being. I have awareness. I was trying to be normal, average, real, like everyone else, just a little bit different, just a little bit, not too much, you know. I was trying to prove that I am clever, I'm not stupid. And
well, were you also trying to prove that you care?
oh yeah, oh yes, so much, so much.
Okay, one of the aspects is we try to prove that we care when we're not willing to simply acknowledge that we care. Because I'm sorry, you would have to be a cruel, heartless, insane asshole to not have caring for the people that are involved in the earthquakes, the people that are suffering, the families that are suffering as a result, you know. And the interesting thing that I've noticed is, see, I wasn't even going to do this Zoom. And why? Because what I'm looking at is presenting people a different possibility. And what so many people want to do is make you wrong if you don't dive into the trauma and drama and the suffering. But the trauma and the drama and the suffering is exactly what's making us all suffer. I'm not interested in us suffering. And so, but people don't realize that there's a totally different way that we can be that will create greater for everybody, including all the people that are affected by the earthquake, including all the people that are affected by refugees and all this sort of stuff. And it's interesting because the idea of what can I contribute is not really a thing that most people understand. They don't realize that their lack of drama is a contribution. Like there was somebody who posted in the chat about losing a family, and and I just want to acknowledge the pain, I acknowledge that. I don't want to discount that. I don't want to invalidate that in any way. Like, yes. And if you've got something painful that has occurred, you're not wrong for feeling the pain. Like, just, I get it. Like, yes, acknowledge that. That is not wrong. And what I'm also interested in is how do we go from the place where it's just pain, where it just seems like suffering and just seems like wrongness? Because if we stay there, we're not going to create anything greater. We have to acknowledge it. But if we stay there, we're stuck. And the reason I created this Zoom is because I wanted to do what I could, at least even with just a tiny bit of energy or a tiny bit of contribution in some people's worlds that might possibly allow people to get just a little less stuck. Because if we can get a little less stuck, then we've got different choices. And because we have a choice, we can go into this and stay stuck there because it hurts so much, or we can go acknowledge the hurt. Go, you know what? It fucking hurts. It fucking hurts. It fucking hurts. It fucking hurts. And be with the fucking hurt. And then ask, what else is possible that I've never considered? what can I choose? What can I be that will start dissipating this hurt rather than me staying here and aligning and agreeing with people's hurt so they can't get out of it either because we're both so right for our reactive reality of this hurt. What can I be? What can I do? What can I choose? What energy can I be? What space? What consciousness? What choice can I be? By how I be in the world, that might take somebody who thinks this is the only choice and show them that there are other choices available, that there are other spaces available. And so I guess part of the conversation I'm trying to have is we have choice, and a lot of people are making you wrong if you don't align and agree with the trauma and the drama. But let's acknowledge what is hurtful. Let's not fight against it, but let's ask collectively, what choices do we have? What choices can we make together to create a different possibility? Everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So I apologize, my dear, I interrupted again.
Oh, it was beautiful. I'm so grateful, really so grateful, because this time when I was aware of something, in my body and in my world, I was like, okay, what is this? What can I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how can I change it? I didn't get anything. Then I was like, okay, how can I contribute? Whatever this is, how can I contribute? And suddenly I was, okay. And I keep asking questions more than ever since the earthquake. And I keep SOPing 24/7, even in my dreams. I just ask, how can I contribute? What else I can choose? What else I can be willing to be? And whatever I perceive, I'm just doing it and being it.
So it would seem that part of the difference between this time and last time for you, having lived through this and the last set of earthquakes, is that willingness to be present, to be the question.
Yeah.
And to actually be that space of what can I contribute?
Yeah.
So have you been made wrong for not understanding the drama?
Of course.
Now you say, of course, that's interesting.
Yeah, but I was always judged, It didn't matter when I was trying to prove how sad I am, how miserable I am before. I was still senseless. I was still wrong. So it doesn't make much difference,
So you were trying to pretend you were sad and destroyed and you were still judged.
Yeah.
And now you're like, hey, there's other possibilities and you're still judged.
Yeah.
So basically it doesn't fucking matter what you choose. You're going to be judged anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So everything that is, I think a lot of us can relate to that. It's like, wait, I tried to be sad with you. I tried to align and agree with your drama. And you still are judging me because I obviously don't get it. Okay, well, I'm over that. Now I'm just going to be happy and I'm going to try to contribute. And now you're saying I don't align and agree with your drama. It's like you can't win no matter what. So everything that is, all of you who have been judged nonstop, no matter what you choose, and somehow at this point, you probably think judgment is real. We destroy and uncreate it all, please. Yes. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. So all the presumptive realities you have, which is where you presume what reality is going to be, and then you create it that way, or you presume what it's going to be and it doesn't show up that way, and then you're disappointed in yourself. all the presumptive realities creating all that, we destroy and uncreate it all, please.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. Is it so important to be judged by others? Nope, just what happens. Okay, and all the need of reactive realities that you're aware of in people's worlds, where they believe that they need reactive realities in order to live. So they always have to find something to resist and react to. Will you destroy and uncreate all that, please?
Yes.
Times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, pock, shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. Okay, so I've got roughly 1,200 of you right now, so I would like to use you all. I know we have some questions, and we may get to those, or we may not, but I would like to do something called an ESC. ESC stands for Energetic Synthesis of Communion. It's a capacity I recognized I had about 20 years ago. And it's going to be a quickie probably, but it's about reclaiming, re-acknowledging the space of communion that we have with every molecule around us. Do you notice it's already beginning, my beautiful friends? And Tugba, thank you for your contribution. Thank you all for being here. And my initial idea was we were going to take particular questions, and I recognized in this moment that this, at least from what I can contribute, would probably be, because I asked that question, Earth, what can I contribute to you? And this showed up. And if you want to, you can close your eyes or not, your choice. There's a beauty in being alive, my beautiful friends. And also, I don't know what your particular point of view is, whether you believe that people live once and die. But my sense is a lot of people wanted to press the reset switch for so many reasons. And let's contribute to all the people that have died. To finding peace in whatever way that shows up, in this lifetime or the next. Truth, all of you, who are you? Truth, who were you before that? 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 Truth, who will you be in the future? Thank you very much. You may now leave. Please take all your luggage with you and all the magnetic imprinting, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povats, and beyond. Now I'm doing this even if none of you have ever experienced this before, or you think it's weird or whatever. I don't care. Think whatever you want. But I am doing it as a contribution to you all. I just know how it is, and somebody's doing something beyond mental. Lots of times we think we need to figure it out, but you don't. Let me ask you this: what contribution can this ESC be to you? And through you to the others you're aware of? Goodness. See, one thing I know is we're miraculous. And people have said things like that, but for me, it never inspired me. I wanted to believe it, but they were not miraculous people who were saying it most of the time. So it's like, how are you telling me I'm miraculous? You don't get miracles. And so when I say this, I hope you receive it as an acknowledgement that there may be far more available for you and as you that you ever imagine. One of the other things I'd like to do, if you wouldn't mind, is all the miraculousness, all the magic, all the miracles you're capable of, and everything you've done to cut it off in other lifetimes and in this lifetime. Will you destroy and uncreate all that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. Wow. And so my question is, what miraculousness can we be? It's interesting because so many people in Turkey are so pissed off at the politicians. And my question is, were you pissed off before the earthquakes? Probably, but were you willing to express it? Probably not. So what if one of the gifts is your willingness to call bullshit on bullshit? With enough of us calling bullshit on the things that are bullshit, it starts to change. Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive it, and everything that doesn't allow you to access the miraculousness that you know you've had before, will you destroy and uncreate it, please, and access it now? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povets, and beyond. So one of the other reasons I wasn't going to do a Zoom or a live or anything is because a lot of people have their fixed point of view about what should happen and what's the right thing, and all this is wrong and this is right. And I'm not interested in that. Anybody who has a right or wrong point of view, a fixed point of view, is limiting what's possible. What I'm interested in is opening the door for possibilities and letting consciousness work its miraculousness without us trying to control it with our minds. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. Okay, so part of this particular thing that we're doing has been somewhat dynamically for Turkey, Syria, the area affected by all of this movement of the earth. And now I'd like to expand it out further so it includes a lot more of you and a lot more of the world. What miracles can we ask for that we cannot even imagine nor fathom? On seven, what I'm going to ask you to do is explode miracles around our planet. I know it sounds weird, and oh well, I'm weird. What are you going to do? On 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7. Thank you. And by the way, the worst that can happen with this is nothing will happen for you. I used to think I didn't get energy, which is why I spend a few moments speaking to those people when I do something like this, because I was also in the presence of people who would, wave their hands in flowing gestures and nothing was fucking happening. I don't want to be that guy. Oh, goodness. How many of you have an energetic capacity that you hide because you don't want to be so weird? How many of you not only hide it from others, but you hide it from you? And if you awaken that capacity and allowed it to shine, how much more wonderful and more fun would your world be, and how much greater could our world be? Everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. That is why I did this Zoom, my beautiful friends. It was an excuse to invite you to awaken the miracle beyond this reality that is you. But also to invite you to puck and pot all of your presumptive realities about everything and everyone, including you, and to puck and pot your need of reactive realities, to believe you're having a life through the appropriate reaction to everyone and everything and every energy and every point of view and every situation. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. Whew. So what wall have you been hiding your magic and the miracles of you behind? Whew. That's a big wall. Now is the time and the space, my beautiful friend, to be the miracle of consciousness you are truly capable of. Remember, consciousness is where everything exists and nothing is judged. Ponder the future you would like for our world in the next 5 years, or maybe the next 100 years, as in, rather than thinking what can occur, if you could have a magic wand and go boom. What would you ask for our world? And if you recognize that your request would actualize it, rather than discounting, rather than going, oh, I'm not enough. What can I do that'll change the world? Well, when Gary Douglas discovered the bars 30 years ago, access did not exist and was nowhere on the planet, but he knew, I need to do this. And now we have thousands of facilitators in 179 countries, and millions of people use these tools every day. He didn't think I'm too small. He just started where he was, in a garage in Santa Barbara, by the way. Now we have this thing that is this movement that will contribute to you thousands of tools that you can use, but a fundamental awareness that your being has value, not your reactive realities, your presumptive realities, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your judgments, your right and wrong, your good and bad. All of those are just how you judge and limit you. And the poor earth, who does none of those things, is simply there contributing. Somebody said to me at one point recently, they said, the earth is angry at us. And I went, if the earth actually did anger, the earth does not do anger. The earth is not a human. The earth doesn't do emotion. Why would the earth do emotion? I said, look, if the earth were truly angry, if the earth were really angry, she could kill us all in a heartbeat. All she's got to do is shrug and change the direction of the poles, and we're done for. So can we get over that point of view? But the earth does know there is something dynamically different possible. And what about you, beautiful you? What do you know is possible? That's not about going into the reactive reality to find out and to fight against things, to change them. What is the space of possibility beyond the fight, beyond the right that you try to prove, beyond the wrong? What's the space that is beyond any reality any of us have ever considered, could actually exist as our world? And one thing I know is if we're willing to ask for what we know is possible beyond the realities we've seen, we together, simply by asking for it, together have the capacity to actualize it. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I know I'm not the only one. And what's funny is the more I dream, the greater things become. So I don't stop. I don't give up on my dreams. I keep going. Even when people don't get it, I look at them, I'm like, I get that you don't get it. That just tells me it must be something that's really awesome. Now is the space for a truly different possibility, my beautiful friends. Would you like to choose? No definition, can't tell you what it is, but I know you have a sense that things should be able to be more peaceful, more joyful, more generative, more creative, more inclusive. And I know some of you are living in places where there's so much fight and so much war and so much wrong and so much right. And I honor you for that. I acknowledge you. I praise you. I am so grateful for you. Thank you for being there, to be a light of possibilities. And now may our light of possibilities shine throughout the world. On 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. Ooh. Well, that happened. You can open your eyes if you want to. Oh, baby. Well, that was interesting. In doing something like this, especially, I don't show up with the point of view other than what can I contribute? What are people willing to receive? And what can we create together? Might be some of the questions you want to ask. Oh, and thank you for the gratitude. I am So grateful. And I thank you all for being here and putting in your time and your energy and being present for this. And I want to ask, what else can we contribute energetically to Turkey, Syria? What can we contribute? What is possible for waking people up? So there's the earth, the contribution, and the earth is doing its thing to wake people up to, it's doing whatever it's doing, okay? To pretend that we understand it is probably not necessarily accurate. But what can we contribute to all the people who've been shaken? To find the space and the peace of their being. Whew. Wow, could you imagine if whatever this created opened the door for maybe thousands or hundreds of thousands and maybe more, I don't know, or maybe one person, people, to find the space of the peace of their being? We're going to ask for that on 12. And you get the sense of Turkey and Syria, but also sort of like spacing out around that and maybe all the way across the world. On 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the whole world. Thank you. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. And also 5, 9, 11, 14, 19, 20, 5, 9, 11, 14, 19, 20, 5, 9, 11, 14, 19, 20, 5, 9, 11, 14, 19, 20. Whew. If you want to know what all those numbers are, they're basically an element of miraculousness that we realized we could use. And if you want to know, you can do the foundation class where we describe them all. Don't have time to go into it right now. Well, that was not at all where I thought it would go. But it never is. So, thank you, beautiful people. I thank you, Tugba, for being the contribution in that space. And I thank you all for being with me. And what the fuck else is possible now for all of us? This is our world, my beautiful friends. Let's fucking create it. No more suffering. Let's create it. I look forward to being with you soon. Thank you again. Mwah. And thank you also to the translators and the oracles and the gaggle, the people that made this all possible. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Mwah. Bye-bye. See you in Global Foundation.